In the weeks after the mass shooting, a special commission was established to investigate Florida's deadliest school shooting. After 9 months of work, it issued a highly critical report.
Among the findings, several Broward County deputies did not properly respond to the gunshots and should have immediately moved toward the gunfire to confront the shooter. The deputies' radios did not work properly, and there was confusion over which classrooms had been cleared as they went through the school.
Nicholas Cruz is awaiting trial on 17 counts of first-degree murder. The commission said there were multiple witnesses who knew about Cruz's violent acts and heard him make threats about shooting up the school. The report said at least 30 people knew of Cruz's troubling behavior and either did not report it, or when it was reported to the school, the Broward Sheriff's Office, or the FBI, they didn't act on it.
When it came to operations at the school on the day of the shooting, the commission found the front door to the school was unlocked and unstaffed, allowing Cruz to enter. A code red was not called in time because there wasn't a clear understanding of who could call it or when it could be called. The commission said the lack of the code red left students and staff vulnerable to be shot.
The commission also made recommendations for improving security at schools.
Many have been implemented by the schools in our area, but as News Channel 5's Michelle Casada reports, some may not be implemented at all.
If you try to open any classroom door across our 5-county area, it will be locked. That's what school district security officers say.
After Parkland happened, everybody understands the fact that why we lock our doors.
Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, Indian River, and Okeechobee schools have already implemented a lot of the cost-free recommendations made in the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Commission report. Hard corners in classrooms have been identified, code red active shooter drills have increased, and safety protocols have been revamped. But the more extensive ones are expensive.
You can see how far ahead we were with our safety, but we still identified $15 million in need just for our district.
Last year, the state allotted $99 million for campus hardening for all 67 school districts.
That money was spent in no time on fencing.
Every school in our area now has a single point of entry. But the commission report is also asking school districts to install locks that can be remotely controlled.
Certain schools have it, and certain don't.
St. Lucie County School Superintendent says the challenge has been retrofitting older schools. Some of the newer campuses were constructed with the technology. St. Lucie County Sheriff Ken Mascara pointed out what he sees will be challenging recommendations by the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Commission.
They are recommending that school resource deputies have rifles on campus. And together, we're talking about how to proceed with that, but that might be a challenge for us.
Bullet-resistant classroom windows are also a recommendation. Most districts say it's on their wish list.
Bulletproof windows and glass are very, very expensive. They could be thousands of dollars for one door and one window.
Almost all of the 5 school districts in our area are still working on fencing.
It's a challenge to justify to parents why some schools are finished and some are not.
I think we're all doing the best that we can.
Palm Beach County school police chief says code red drills now have more of an emphasis on single officer response training.
I hope we never have to deal with it, but in the event of a catastrophic event, they're going to go down that hall by themselves and take care of the business that needs to be taken care of.
The commission report also made more involved recommendations that included metal detectors, X-ray machines, and gunshot location sensors, but those are all just recommendations unless they become mandates by the state. Reporting in West Palm Beach, Michelle Casada, WPTV News Channel 5.
There were hundreds of students in the freshman building in Parkland that day when the school came under attack, and some of those who made it out now deal with horrible memories.
The survivors and News Channel 5's Amy Lippman talked with one of them about that day and how life has changed since then.
Sitting outside Stoneman Douglas High School, 15-year-old Maddie Zeltwanger seems to constantly know someone driving by. Parkland is where she grew up, especially in the last year.
I think I've become a lot stronger.
Around 2 in the afternoon on February 14th, 2018, Maddie was a typical high school freshman sitting in English class.
And I was writing an essay.
But within 30 minutes, she became a mass shooting survivor.
The first classroom and the hardest hit classroom.
Maddie's desk was closest to the door. She heard a popping sort of sound.
So I looked up and there was a gun shooting down the hallway.
She immediately ran to the other end of the classroom and hid behind her teacher's desk.
If it was 1 millisecond before when I ran it, I would have been shot.
8 students in her class were shot. 3 died. Alyssa Alhadef, Alex Schachter, and Elena Petty.
They were all really smart.
That's why Maddie now has 3 hearts tattooed on her ankle.
So it's very special and it's very personalized to what I went through.
She got out from room 1216 alive that day. Her mom Kim took this picture soon after they were reunited.
Wow, we got very lucky. You know, I feel like God was looking after her in that classroom.
But the emotional wounds are as ingrained as her new tattoo.
I think in the beginning I had a really hard time laughing and being happy because I just felt guilty.
The memories often flood Maddie's mind when she goes to school.
As long as that building is up, you know, they're going to have a daily reminder of it.
She now has a place to go to reflect.
Especially at the school, you just feel kind of close to it.
A new community garden called Project Grow Love.
My mom and I came out and we put the 17 angels out.
Maddie just wishes the 17 victims could drive by and wave to her too.
It makes me feel like, you know, they're with us and they're like our guardian angels.
I'm Amy Littman, WPTV News Channel 5.
A lifetime of grief, but also we've seen in so many ways determination to live lives of purpose for those who survived.
Exactly. So brave and so strong to have endured the absolute worst.
Yeah. Coming up, a movement that was started by the students in Parkland and spread across the country.
Up next, a look at March for Our Lives and the effort to keep it going.